Okay, hello everybody, and thank you so much for joining us today. We have Beth Anderson with us. Beth, thank you so much for chatting with us today.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited.
P4Plexus Diaries. So today we're talking a little bit more about business buddies and the business side of being involved in Plexus and kind of what that looks like and what your experience has been as a Diamond Ambassador. Now, are you Diamond Ambassador or Diamond? You're going up second leg, right?
I am, yes. I'm diamond, silver, hoping to be gold next month.
So. Okay, fantastic. So you know what it's all about.
Kind of crazy.
Okay, so first and foremost, how did you find out about Plexus? How did that come into your life?
Yeah, so okay, my kids went to a small little private school called McKinney Christian Academy, and if any of you are Plexus people, you've heard of that because it is this tiny school that probably has about 550 kids total pre-K through 12, and I think at this point there's 9 or 10 Joels just out of McKinney Christian Academy. We have since moved away from the area, but they're still some of my dearest friends. So anyways, 3 or 4 of them had started taking Plexus. I thought they were crazy, but they were taking it. And at that point, all I knew Plexus was that it could help you with your weight. And these are my friends that I never thought needed help with their weight, but they looked amazing. But through that, they probably took it for about 8 months before anybody started to join as ambassadors. And I think I'm pretty sure that I probably told them that they were crazy. If I didn't tell them, I thought it a lot. I had never been one that took any kind of supplements. I rarely took vitamins. I couldn't swallow pills. Like when I was pregnant, I would try to take Flintstones, but that's just disgusting. So I'd never really taken anything. And so March of 2013, my friend Celeste Gwynn, who is double diamond with Plexus now, decided to join as an ambassador. And really, she just did it to help her friend Jen Hawkins. She's like, yeah, okay, I'll join. And so she calls me and she's like, I think you need to do this. Well, first of all, like I hated network marketing. I was so against it. What I thought network marketing was, my mom did every company in the book. I mean, she did chocolate, she did housewares, she did spices and dips. She did everything. And she would have to have all these parties, and she would have to have somebody have all the parties. And so that person would be me a whole lot of the time. And she would come, and I didn't mind, obviously. It was always fun. You always like to have parties, right? But she would come in dragging all this stuff and have to set it up. And I just remember thinking, she's like drenched in sweat. And it was such a hard thing. And she'd probably make like 25, 50 bucks. And I thought, this is fun for you. Like, this is awful. You know, I mean, I enjoyed doing it for her, but just as a job making money, I did not think that was great. So that was my thought on network marketing. You had to buy a bunch of stuff, you had to set it up, and you had to, have all these parties. And so I did not want to do anything with that. But I will tell you that Celeste called me and she's like, I think you need to do this. And so I was like, yeah, I don't think so. Well, my husband was like, let's just try it. So at the time, I was training for a half marathon, and I had done one the previous year. And when you're training, you're running miles and miles and miles. And so you probably shouldn't be gaining lots of weight. Some people say you will gain muscle weight, but I was gaining fat weight, and I've never really struggled with my weight before. And so I was thinking, this is not working out well. I'm running like crazy and my clothes are not fitting, and this is not going to work. I'd rather just like sit than run a million miles and be gaining weight, right? So my husband just said, you know what, let's just try it. Let's just see if it works. And so I said, okay. And of course I said, let's just sign up for the discount because we're both going to take it. It's cheaper. We were so clueless back then that we bought the cheapest pack, one package of Slim and maybe Accelerator for the both of us for a month. And so anyways, I said, okay, we'll sign up for the discount. It's not going to work for me, although I know it worked for my friends, and I do not want any part of this business. And so I'm sure that I will turn this off in a month. Well, God had other plans, and very quickly, even before I may have even started posting and sharing before I even took a sip of the drink, because I wanted to run my half before I started. So I ran my half and started the next day. And very quickly, people were interested, and I did have great results. And so what I learned was that network marketing is not what I thought it was. I'd always been a network marketer. I'd always been one when I found something that I liked, like if I found a new restaurant or I found a new boutique or whatever, I told everybody about it. We all went to the same hairdresser. We all got our nails at the same place because we talk. As ladies, we talk to our friends. And when we find something that we like, we want to try it, what our friends do. And so from what I thought network marketing was not. And so I really had been doing it my whole life and just not being paid for it. So my team very quickly did start growing. I started getting customers, started getting team members. I was working 2 part-time jobs at the time, which kind of was more than a full-time job. Yeah. And so I didn't have a lot of time, but I did share it. And so, and the rest is history. I mean, it's just been an amazing, amazing opportunity. So because of my friends that took it before, and then Celeste sharing with me and just saying, you need to do this, then that's how we got started.
Right. And so actually, so you mentioned about network marketing, and that's something that like you've experienced personally, obviously being an ambassador, but also too, like from your mom doing it. And I know there are lots of other, you know, network marketing businesses out there. I won't name names, but a lot of times people hear about Plexus and immediately think of a pyramid scheme. And so I guess I'm curious what you personally in your experience think is different about Plexus in the network marketing business that it provides, that's different from what people might think about pyramid schemes. And to tag on to that, what's different from like your part-time jobs that you had and what a typical, you know, 9-to-5 job might look like versus network marketing, and just kind of what your experience has been between doing a typical 9-to-5 and Plexus, and what people might have like preconceived notions about network marketing versus what Plexus is.
Right, absolutely. Well, so I really didn't understand how network marketing works. That's what you hear, pyramid scheme, pyramid scheme, pyramid scheme, right? So with Plexus, at least, and I'm not sure about others because I really am not sure. People try to explain other network marketing comp plans to me, and I'm like, that doesn't even make sense. That's so hard. I don't even understand that. And but so here's the deal, Plexus. You can move up. People can move up that are underneath you. Before you, they can jump you. People underneath you can make more money. People can do it their own way. It really, really, really is like having your own business. And you can work it as hard as you want to work it. And somebody under you may not want to work it at all. And then somebody else may want to work it harder than you. And so they can jump over you. So to me, like, there is no pyramid scheme going on. I mean, I know that there's not. First of all, they're illegal, obviously. And so we very much are watched by the FTC and all of that. And if we were a pyramid scheme, we would be shut down. But, you know, people do think that, well, only one person at the top is making money. And that's so not true. I mean, I know on my team alone, there have been months that people below me probably have made more than me. I haven't had anybody jump me on this leg yet, but, you know, my second leg, it may happen. There have been team members, lots of team members who, you know, people jump and go over, and then they come back in and hit it. And so Plexus really does it fairly, because you as an ambassador cannot just make money off of one person. You have to have a growing team and have so many level ones that are sponsored yourself. When you start ranking up, you have to have, you know, people of your own outside of your main leg. And so if you don't, then that main leg can jump you because you're not actively working it. So Plexus really wants you working in all different areas. And, you know, that way everyone is making money. I mean, I guarantee there's people, you know, from me down, or, you know, from Celeste down, that are making tons of money with this. Let me rewind a little bit back to what I was doing. So my whole thing, my whole life was that I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. When I was a kid, that's what I mean, people would ask me in college, what do you want to do? I didn't graduate college and I have a degree, but I was like, I just want to be a mom. Like, I want to get married, and I had a career after college. I want to get married and I want to have babies, and I want to stay home with my babies. That's what I wanted to do. And thankfully I was able to do that. And when my boys were born, I have 2 boys, they're 13 and 10. And my husband at the time, that my little one was in the mortgage industry. And so most people know that a few years back, the mortgage industry crashed, right? And so that is not good. So, you know, we had never been like super big spenders. We always had money in savings, but when your industry completely crashes and you have to start over, it's very hard. And we struggled very much. And so with that mentality that I still wanted to be a stay-at-home mom, would work part-time jobs, whatever I could do. I mean, I did it all. Like, I worked at Mother's Day Out so my kids could go to Mother's Day Out. I worked for a company that took school pictures. So when my kids got older, I took them to school, and then I'd go take school pictures, and then I'd take them home, and then I'd go to sports pictures. And so at least I was still there, like, taking them to school, picking them up, and being there, to know what was going on. There was a friend of ours that sometimes needed cars driven, just so like she leased cars, and so if somebody needed a car, we'd drive the car and get paid. We would do whatever it took for me to still be able to be home. So I say I had 2 part-time jobs. I was working a whole lot. And so my husband was working. He traveled a ton. And at the time I started Plexus, I had just taken a job at my kid's school. I was working in the development office, and I had a couple other things that I was doing. And so I was so busy. And I was so tired. By the end of the day, Christmas holidays, I was just grumpy because I was so tired. But I was so thankful because I was still able to do those things, and I was still able to take my kids to school and pick them up. But I was so tired. Mm-hmm. And I never thought in a million years that Plexus would be the answer to my prayers, ever. I never thought that network marketing would be the answer to my prayer. I was so against it, y'all. But again, like I said, it's just something that I'd always done. I'd always told my friends about things that I liked. And so as my business started to grow very quickly, I could have quit everything. I had to stay on at my school job because I was under contract. But actually, Plexus has taken over, on the finances. We make more than what I was making, plus my husband's salary, and he works for a huge software company and does very well. So it's completely changed. Now I'm a full-time mom again, and I get to do Plexus folded in with my life. I get to do it when I want to do it. If I need to take off, like 2 weeks ago, my 4th grader had a 3-day field trip. I left. No big deal. I had a 3-day field trip. I'm sorry. It was so much fun. And so, I'm so thankful for that. I do work hard. I work very hard, and I love Plexus, and I love working Plexus. But again, I can work it in my time and in my day. And, like I leave every day and go get my kids at school, and I may not even get back on my computer if I don't have to. There are days that I get back on my computer, but I get to do it like I want to do it. So for anybody out there questioning, is it legit? It's absolutely legit. I was just writing down today all the jewels that we have on our team. And that jewel level is when you get your car and you're making pretty much 6 figures a year. There's 35 people on my team that are making 6 figures a year with Plexus. There may be more than that, but at the jewel level, there's 35 people right now. I've been in for 3 years. That's pretty amazing that many people have grown that much, and there's so many more right there, like on the way to being there. And so I'm just thankful. I think it's a great opportunity. And I think a pyramid scheme is when you go to work and you have somebody at the top, and then they, there's somebody under them and somebody under them, and then there's your boss and you're at the bottom, and there's no way that you're ever going to make it to the very top, because only one person can be at the very top, right? Well, with Plexus, lots of people can be at the very top, and that's the cool thing. And that, the income, anything you want to do is limitless. You can do whatever you want to do with Plexus.
That's so great. That's awesome. And you actually covered a couple of other questions that I had, which is what you had been doing besides Plexus to bring in income for your family.
Yes.
And also to just kind of like you said, the difference between your typical 9-to-5 job and Plexus and what that looks like. So another question that I have is that some ambassadors, and I know that this is not me, some ambassadors are able to fast track. So that's what we call, they get started as an ambassador, and then they start jumping up levels like silver and gold and ruby and senior. They just go very quickly up the track. While others take a little bit longer to climb the ladder. And so what do you think attributes to either one of these tracks, if you have thoughts on that? And which one, is there one that's better? Is there one that's worse? Does it really matter? What are your thoughts on fast track versus a little bit slower?
So I have lots of thoughts on that, actually. And I tell people all the time, don't compare yourself to anybody else, because first off, we're all in different phases of our lives, right? Some of us have kids. Some of us aren't married. Some of us are empty nesters. Some of us have babies. Some of us have kids that, under 13 and 10. They can, brush their teeth by themselves, So everybody's in different phases of life. Some people are working, 50 hours a week. Some people are not working at all. And so first you have to look at that. Also, you have to look at demographics, because sometimes just, living different places and getting to meet people. And, you know, for instance, I moved an hour and a half away. So when I was in my old town and I knew tons of people, it happened really quickly for me. So then I moved away and I didn't know anybody. And so it took a little bit, probably about, truthfully, over a year for me to finally start people believing me and trusting me enough and joining my team. And so that's what my second leg is a lot of, is the new area that I live in. And so, you know, there's so many different reasons that it could be. And so we can't ever compare ourselves to anybody else. I think that everyone that continues and that everyone that stays the course and that everyone that works this business will eventually be at the top. I truly, truly believe that. I've seen people that go fast. I've seen people that go slow. You know what? As long as you believe and as long as you have passion and as long as you don't quit, you're going to get there. I absolutely believe that. And I've seen it happen. Just recently, we have a girl in my downline who has been an ambassador for 2 years. She never worked the business. Now all of a sudden she's working the business and she's, you know, growing rapidly. So everybody's story is different. You know, some people feel like they need to have all these results. I didn't. I leaned on the belief of my friends that had results. Like, I just started telling people, you know, this is what I'm doing. And then when I had results, I started sharing my results. And so there's so many testimonies out there that we can share. And so people, you know, don't need to be afraid, because I'll tell you this, Plexus is changing lives in so many ways. And our products have helped so many people that hiding that is kind of not good, because I just feel like people need this. And so we need to be proud to share these products. But, you know, you asked if you think one way is better than the other. You know, it's totally different. I think that both work in so many different ways. You know, for me, I did go pretty fast. I hit diamond in 11 months. 2 of my first 3 are diamond right now. And so, and they, you know, my first diamond went diamond in 10 months. And the other one, it was not right at it. I don't know how long it was. I can't remember. Maybe around a year. But I mean, it was very quickly. And so I had that steady base from the very beginning. But some people that add just, you know, go in and add 50 people, they may lose quite a few because they may not, you know, all catch the vision or whatever. Luckily with me, 2 of my, and my third one, he's senior gold. It's my brother, and he works his tail off, and he does really well too. But, you know, he's a teacher. His wife is a teacher. They're very busy lots of the time. And so, you know, it's just different circumstances or whatever. But he's not quitting and he's not giving up, and he will be diamond one day. I know he will. But I just think that it's your journey, and it is the road that God has placed you on. And so we can't question that. We have to work hard, and we have to learn as much as we can, and we have to share as much as we can, and we have to do our very best. And I do think that everybody will get there. And so we can't question why, and we can't say, oh, well, she did it really fast and I didn't, because everybody's in a different place in life. And so who's to say one is right or one is wrong? There's diamonds that went really fast, and there's diamonds that it took 4 years. But I guarantee the diamonds that it took 4 years aren't sad that they're diamond, you know.
Right, exactly.
Because I promise if it takes you 10 years to be diamond, I promise you it's worth it. So absolutely worth it.
Like, it helps to know, I think, and this is something too that I take heart in, since it is taking me a little bit more time, you know, compared to other people that I see that fast track. Just because I'm, you know, not necessarily a ruby or an emerald or something like that doesn't negate the hard work that I am doing, and doesn't negate, like you said, there are some people that may be below you, but they can have a different level of income. They can jump levels, you know, jump you. It totally depends. So basing yourself on other people's success is not a good way to do it, because it just, like you said, it's completely dependent on you and your life.
Absolutely. And I'll say this too, you know, we were doing a call the other day, and we were talking about how, because I did go fast and I really had no clue, and I got to diamond and I was like, oh my gosh, what do I do? You know, like I had to learn then, and I had to set boundaries in. And so trying to set boundaries now, like trying to set office hours and trying to, you know, like set up my schedule and have family time and work time and all that, it's much harder to do when you've like already, you know, here you are. And so I think that people that can take time and can learn everything, and that can really establish those boundaries, establish doing weekly Zoom calls with your, you know, even if you have one ambassador on, establish doing things, you know, I think when they get to the top, it's going to be much easier for them because I think they already have everything in place and they've learned so much that by the time they get there, they're just going to be able to chill, you know, and I mean, still work hard, obviously, because we all work hard, but there's so many things that I've had to learn in the past 2 years. I've had to learn to be a leader. I never even made a video for my team until probably I was 6 months diamond. I was terrified to do that. Like if you would have told me 3 years ago that I had to do this, I would have been like, I'm not signing up for the $34.95 discount because it intimidated me so much. But see, you're doing that and you are better at that than I am. And so learning things now, like that's amazing. So when you get to the top, you're going to have all that in place and it's going to be amazing. It's just you're going to breeze just through everything. And so I wish that I would have known back then.
Learning about the scheduling thing. That's something that I have a hard time doing because I get so excited about Plexus that it's like, you know, my husband's already in bed. He's like, are you coming to bed? I'm like, I just got one more thing.
I know, but it is. And I don't think it's just because you're excited and because you see that people's lives are being changed and how they can be changed.
Right.
And we want that for people. You know, for me, watching my team members, one with their health. I mean, we have some amazing, amazing health stories on our team, like crazy off-the-wall health stories, you know. And then financially, I mean, we have people on our team that, you know, were not making it or barely making it. And now they can pay their car payment and not stress out about it. You know, I remember when I first started because I was just like, I just said, you know, when I first started making money, I was like, if we could make $500 until Christmas, we wouldn't have to worry about Christmas, you know? And then we made it to Christmas, you know? And I kept going. But truthfully, $100 for a lot of people extra a month is huge.
Yeah, it makes a big difference.
They go buy groceries and they don't have to worry about it. They don't have to stress out about it. I remember last year, it was around Christmas time and I was at Walmart and my basket was full. And it was, I mean, we were buying like Christmas presents for, you know, other people. I'm sure there was some for us. There were groceries. It was full. And this man came up to me and he said, you know what? Your husband must do really well. And I thought, you know what? I will tell you that there was a time in our lives that I got our grocery bills to $10 to $30 a week. That's all I could spend on groceries. And so what an amazing moment that was to know that I had not only had groceries, whatever groceries my kids wanted off the shelf, you know, I had groceries. And I'm sure I had Christmas presents for myself, but I also had Christmas presents for people that we didn't even know. And so how quickly in 3 years that can change and we can not only take care of ourselves, but bless others, it's life-changing. And truthfully, $100 a month extra for some people is life-changing. And so to know that you have team members doing that and that you can, I've met all these different people with all these different stories and you know, it excites you and you want to do more and you want to work harder because you want it for them. You know, for me, like I'm so happy, I'm so thankful that I am Diamond. Now I want it for all my team members and I want to do whatever it takes to help them get there. It's like my kids, like I get there, like my whole team are like my kids. Like I have all these kids and I get so excited. You know? It is because it's just fun and the joy of it and the friendships made are just absolutely amazing.
Mm-hmm. And so then for somebody that's going to be like, let's say that you have somebody new that's joining your team, right? Mm-hmm. What would be the advice that you would give to somebody that's just getting started as an ambassador? And I know it depends on, you know, what different people want. Some people just want it for the discount. Some people want it for building a business. But what would your advice be to somebody that's starting as an ambassador and maybe wants to make, like, let's say $100 a month, 100 extra a month?
I would say don't wait. Absolutely don't wait. Lean on the beliefs of everybody else. If you've never taken the Plexus product, you don't know anything, you lean on my belief. You lean on the belief of all these people that are going to surround you and become your family. Because I'm pretty sure when you join Plexus, you get a whole family. And so it will work and don't wait. And what if it could? What if it could bring in, you know, $200 or $300? I really do. I encourage everyone to start sharing. You know, I encourage them to start sharing on Facebook, but if they don't, call your mom, call your sister, call your best friend and just say, hey, I might be crazy, but I'm starting this. Will y'all support me? Will you help me in this? Will you, you know, try this with me, do this with me, and call your 3 best friends, whoever that might be, and get their support, because they might say no at first. My very best friend just bought products from me 3 months ago for the first time. 3 years. It was almost my 3-year anniversary. But she knew I did it, and she's known, and she's gotten samples quite a bit from me. But sometimes it just takes people that set that tone and tell them and share. Start going down your phone contact list and look and say, oh, I've heard this person suffers from this. I've heard the Plexus can help that. And find those testimonies and call your friend on the phone or send a text message and say, hey, I've just started this, journey, and, I do have results. I don't have results, whatever, the person may have. But I do know that you suffer with this, and here's a testimony of this. Would you be willing to try it? Just talk to people. If Celeste would have never asked me to do it, if she would have never called me on the phone and said, I think you need to do this, I don't know that I ever would have done that. So many people do hide behind Facebook, and Facebook is a great tool, and I post on Facebook every single day. But personal communication is so huge. I mean, don't you love it when somebody calls you and talks to you on the phone?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, really, it just makes you feel good, right? And I think, I say all the time, today's generation, in our world today, in our busyness of life, we've lost touch with communication, with personal communication. We'll send a text or we'll put something on Facebook, but do you really call people? And what if you called somebody and just started talking about life? And in that story, well, what are you doing now? Well, actually, I just started with this new company, and I think it's going to be great. Oh, well, what is it? People just talk to people. I mean, do life with people. Fold Plexus into your day. When you're out and about, drink your pink drink when you're at the baseball fields or wherever. I have on a Plexus shirt right now. Wear it. It stirs up conversation on airplanes, at doctor's offices, at the grocery store. Just fold it into your life, and you will be successful.
So it sounds like, and I've got one last question, but really to kind of round us out, I think the biggest thing that I'm hearing from you in terms of making this successful as a business is like the key components are being patient, knowing that your journey is going to take whatever time it takes, and don't judge it, be okay with it. To be transparent, like really let people know where you're at, what you know about the business. Even like there are times too that I will say, you know what, I don't know about that. Let me find out from my teammates.
Absolutely.
So
yes.
Transparency about where you're at and that you are involved in Plexus and that this is why. And then communication as well, and finding different facets of that. So whether it be on Facebook or texting or calling people and continuing with that. So it's really like communication, transparency, patience, and persistence is really, it sounds like, the key ingredients for having the success that you're talking about.
Right. Absolutely. I think that it's so much relationships, and I think that life is just relationships, and if you can just add Plexus to that, work hard. Don't let it sit. We say all the time, you can work Plexus part-time, but don't work it sometimes. Because if you work it once a month, then people aren't going to believe you. People aren't going to have faith that you really have faith in this product. If you take the products wishy-washy every once in a while, and 1 month put up, this is like for a whole month, say you post it every single day. This is great. I love it. Whatever, everything for a month. And then another month goes by and you don't post anything. What are your friends going to think? Are they going to think you're serious about it? They're not. People are watching. People are watching all the time. People watch your life. People watch what you do. People watch what you say. People are watching, but it's all about relationships. And so, just fold it into your life. I really believe that's what I did. That's what, I teach people to do. Join forces when you start having teams. And, the other day, Saturday, I was sitting at home. My kids ended up saying, my parents, Scott was doing something. I called a couple of my team members. I said, hey, I'm going to be by the pool. If y'all want to come out, hang out, we can talk Plexus. Fold it into your life. So they came and sat out by the pool with me, 2 hours. Just hung out, chatted Plexus. Fold it into your life. Work hard. Be honest. You're right. Be honest. I had no clue what the answers were. I mean, it's so funny because I say that, like, I don't even know that I knew we had health products when I first started. And so
right.
It's really funny, right? Because now I think the weight part of it is like so tiny compared to the health stuff. And obviously I take most of the products now. But when somebody would come and ask me something, I would probably 90% of the time I'd be like, I don't know that answer, but I will find out for you. And people like that honesty.
Yeah.
none of us know 100% about everything or anything, you know? And so if you're honest and say, I'll find that answer out, and then buy the answer out, then they're going to appreciate that. So yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. Okay, so the last question, this is what I'm asking everybody, is if you could pick one Plexus product, like what's your favorite product?
That's hard, and I'm sure everyone has said that because nobody wants to pick this one. But I would have to go back to Slim, and that's what I started with. Slim was the only product that I started with. And what it did for me in the very beginning is I was addicted to sodas. Coke, soda, Coke. And I drank it all the time. I don't like coffee, so soda was my caffeine. And again, I was running ragged all these jobs all the time, and so I drank it all the time. And I didn't necessarily like a lot of candy, but I like to bake, and so I loved baked like pies and cookies and stuff. And pretty quickly, my soda cravings addiction went away. I am not saying that I'm perfect. I'm not saying that I don't go like all the time without a soda. It doesn't taste good when I drink it, but like when I have pizza, you kind of need that's just my thing, the soda to go with the pizza, you know. But it killed my addiction. Like, I don't need that anymore. I don't have to have it anymore. 3 or 4 weeks after I started, my father-in-law came in, and he really can bake really good. He's from this tiny town in West Texas, and tiny town people can cook really good. I don't know why, but they can. And he makes chocolate pie. It's my favorite chocolate pie in the whole world. And so he came in for Easter, and it was like 2 or 3 weeks after I started, and he brought me 2 chocolate pies that day, one that we could share for Easter and one that I could have the rest of the week because he knew I liked them so much, and I didn't take a bite. And truthfully, I had my first bite of chocolate pie this Christmas, and I took a couple bites and was like, okay, it was great, but I'm done. And so for me, that was such a huge thing. It gives me energy. Again, I am not perfect. I do have sweets sometimes. But many of the times that I say, okay, I'll have one, I'll take a bite, and I'm done. So I'm not eating like 3 pieces of pie, one day or whatever. But yeah, Slim I can tell that it balances me, it gives me the energy. The few days that I have not had it for whatever reason, I'm so just like sluggish all day. But it's what it does. It balances your blood sugar. And so it helps you have stable blood sugars all day. And it works. So I would have to go back to Slim, I think.
Awesome. Beth, thank you so much for chatting with me today. I so love getting to hear your story because I don't think I'd had a chance to hear your full story yet. And I was really excited to chat with you and hear about that.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to see your journey. You are going to do amazing. I just know it. And can't wait to meet you in Vegas in a couple months.
I'm so excited.
So fun. Not even a couple months, like 6 weeks, I think.
Yeah, I'm excited too. Well, have a wonderful day. And of course, everybody, if you've got questions, you can email me at P4Plexus@gmail.com. And thanks again, Beth, and everyone have a wonderful day.
Bye, guys. Have a good day.